Yeah, it's been a while since I played Monster Hunter. I didn't mean for it to be this long, it just kinda ended up happening. I did play the Monster Hunter Rise PC demo, but I just didn't end up making a video about it. If you don't know who the hell I am, hi, I'm TheMrTrails, and I primarily play Dauntless, the free alternative to Monster Hunter. I have over 3,500 plus hours and like 4 different installations of Dauntless on my computer at this point, and you probably double that number if you count how long I've spent working on making content for the game. But the funny thing about that is that I had never played the Monster Hunter series at all until September, where I played World for the first time. And then I didn't play it again until the end of that month, and I had not played since. Oddly enough, Pokemon Legends Arceus is what kind of made me want to play Monster Hunter again. So here we are, and because I felt I was way too rusty to take on where I left off with on World, I decided we would play Rise, and I guess sort of compare the completely new player experiences between the two games. Consider dropping a like for me if you want to see more Monster Hunter content. I've been enjoying what I've done on Rise so far, and it's been refreshing to have something new between that and Pokemon. And consider subscribing. If nothing else, you'd be able to keep up with what's happening in the knockoff game. So I made myself a beautiful character, made myself a Rifty boy, and made a bad imitation of my cat Milo. Rifty wakes me up to twin absolute waifus invading my room. Kinda gives me Lo and Lee vibes from Avatar if they were young and looked like Mai. Serious question for you guys, do you think lip syncing will ever be accurate in this game? We meet the Elder and he tells us about this huge monster attack that happened 50 years ago that he was a part of. Not foreshadowing at all. We sort of do the meeting up with all of the village NPCs before we start doing stuff, which is fine I guess. They auto-equip the gear for us and then we're sent out on the first hunt. And I'm going to take a moment to rant really quick. In a comparison of the two tutorial segments of World and Rise, World kinda wins, but they both suck. The tutorials suck for different reasons, but Rise's tutorial mainly sucks in that it doesn't necessarily instruct you to change your weapon for this first hunt, nor do you really get to experience any of the weapons before this. Obviously you're just killing Izuchi on this first hunt, but it would have been nice to get to play around with it a bit first. In World, they at least take you to the training area first, but you don't ever really get instructed to go to the training area in this game. And this definitely impacted my gameplay at the start here because I completely disregarded the special meter on the sword for the first several hunts. And if I had been in the training area, that would not have happened. I probably would have been hard ass on sticking to the insect glaive as well though, but I have been enjoying playing the longsword at least. Another thing that screams out to me right away is that World is a lot more storyline based and Rise is a lot more open-ended. As a veteran to the series or as a speedrunner who wants to get to the game faster, both of these things are probably fine with you. But as a new player to the franchise, I'd say it's better to have more structure and a better tutorial segment. Once I'm done with that first hunt, I'm kinda already done with the tutorial section and you get to choose between a few 1-star quests. I choose an easy one to get more accustomed to the controls, which, as a PC gamer, I would like to go on record as saying that the wire bug keybinds are the worst default keybinding I have ever experienced in any video game. Hold mouse click and do a left or right click. The problem with hold mouse click is that with a low scroll wheel sensitivity, something bound to the scroll wheel will start going crazy, which this game has not one but 2 menus bound to the scroll wheel for you to manage. Alright, now that I'm done ranting for the most part, let's talk about the actual game and the hunts that I did. So collecting fire lanterns was, well, easy. I then took a Jagras hunting quest because it was familiar, something you do in World. The next quest I took was the Big Brother Izuchi, which wasn't necessarily difficult, it's just that I was hitting for single digits because again, I didn't get introduced to the special meter because I wasn't in the training grounds. With that first urgent quest done, I was able to take on 2-star quests now. To scout out the newer areas, I took the small monster quest or the gathering stuff quest to get a feel for the map. So I went after some boggies, which if we're being honest, are these not just like reskinned Izuchis? After that, I did the Great Boggy, which was mildly different from the Great Izuchi, and then the Lagombi was next, and that's a fun name to say. It's a thick old bunny rabbit, and I was able to ride the thick old bunny rabbit. I actually really like these turf war segments because they're really good for getting part breaks. Difficulty-wise, the Lagombi was alright. I definitely in general try to take fights at a much slower pace than I did at first with World. It wasn't until after the hunt with the Lagombi that I finally figured out where the training area even was. And at this point I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna kill what's next. And the next thing was the urgent quest for the Aknosam. I found this hunt to be super easy, so easy that I decided the very next hunt I would do would be another Aknosam to get its weapon. And it was actually a good idea to do this because I was was told by a Monster Hunter friend that yellow sharpness is like the worst thing in the game, with it doing less damage depending on what point in the swing you are. And I believe this is the earliest green sharpness longsword that you can get. But it was in the second hunt with the Ocnosom that I realized the special meter was a thing. But even though I did realize this in this hunt, I didn't actually go for the full combos, but it was rather just getting slightly quicker attacks in. I then fought the Tetranodon, who I found to be pretty easy. When I got to Tetranodon was when I found out the full combo would level up the meter. I messed around on multiplayer for a couple of hunts, then it was off to fight my old friend, the Kuluyaku. I already fought it in World, so easy. After this was when I received the urgent quest for the Stronghold. Taking out waves on waves of monsters with overpowered weapons is pretty fun. Then the really scary monster dude comes into the Stronghold and we GTFO. But yeah, I would say the story of World is quite a bit better from what I've played, and this is just sort of, oh, we've been randomly fighting monsters, but now we have an actual monster to be concerned about. Back in town, I decided I would try a new monster, the Kezu. Is that a After defeating the flying schlong, I made my way to the flooded forest to get rid of some Ludroth. Something that doesn't make sense that I noticed is when I successfully complete a hunt, my guy says another fail.
I never fail!
If you can give me a good reason for this, I'll give you a piece of candy. I then tackled the Kezu again for more pieces for the armor. Then I fought with the Royal Ludroth. I do kind of like these monsters that get a bit of an evolution rather than just a reskin like what you do in Dauntless. As much as a Royal Grook would be a terrifying thought for Dauntless, it would be cool to see Fauna get an actual behemoth. But yeah, I would say Royal Ludroth was kind of average to easy. Then I did another multiplayer hunt where my teammate fainted, and I would like to go on record as saying it is stupid to have your rewards be less for your teammates being incompetent. Disgusted, I went back to solo hunts to have a reunion with the Baroth. If memory serves me, in my second world video, this was the first of the monsters that actually killed me. But not this time, I was prepared. After this was the urgent quest for the Bishaten. This monkey bird has a fruit for every occasion. Just not one that made me die to it. Then I took my first quest in the Lava Caverns, where I took a quest to collect coal. While I was here, I killed some Uraktor, who so far has been my favorite name to say. Then I took a quest to kill Rachnoids, just to be able to kill some more Uraktor, because they have a pretty good armor piece. I then reunited with the Tobikadachi, who takes the title of the best kill cam so far of the playthrough. Then was the Great Ruggy, who is about as easy as you would expect it to be. And then I did a couple multiplayer hunts for Kuluyaku and urgent quest for Tetranodon. But since I did those in solos already, they were light work. And that is where I had to stop the journey for this first video, the main reason being that for the about 10 hours of gameplay I did, the recording is 753 gigabytes. So yeah, I'm gonna need to get this off my computer. But I enjoyed my time playing the game, and I promise it won't be several months before my next Monster Hunter video. Let me know if you would like me to play more Rise, or if you would like to see me go back to World next. Thanks a lot for watching. Once again, drop that like for me, and I have been Trevor. I go by TheMrTrails, and I will catch you guys next time.